Hey guys, GameBoy3800 here once again. This is a different video, and what I'm going to start doing for the channel in 2024, we're going to be looking at some of my old favorite games from my childhood. And this is one of them. I used to love Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to be super into it, all the way up until 5Ds. I was like getting every pack available, but then it just kind of started getting a bit too far away from what I thought the game was all about, strategy and, counters. Instead, you just flood the field nowadays, OTK your opponent, maybe don't even let them have a turn, just first turn kill. It's like, okay, what's that all about? So, this series, or this game, is way before that. It's 2004. I consider that to be like the golden years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like early 2000s. And that intro was pretty cool. We're playing on an emulator, of course, but I have bought the game like maybe 5 times over the years, so I don't mind emulating it. And Dawn of Destiny was only on Xbox, and it had a cool set of cards that came in the box. It had a unplayable Winged Dragon of Ra, it had Dark Sage, and it had some field wipe trap card that was terrible. Yeah, I played a little bit of this game on the emulator. I got 1155 cards. I'll show you my deck. I run a bit of a combo deck. It uses all 60 cards. Nowadays you want only 40 cards so you could draw into what you need as soon as possible. However, like I said, that's a bit too fast-paced for my liking, so something more methodical that takes time and that builds up to a satisfying end is what I like the most. So we can see here, I run an empty jar deck. It's also a deck out and burning deck. So I have things that burn their life points. I have things that will gain me life points if I'm ever on the back end. I have things that help me draw. And a lot of things that make my opponents discard. I got some recovery items. And then I have some vanilla beat sticks as well. So it's a bit of a beatdown. Bit of a empty jar, bit of a burn, and bit of a life point gain. Life point gain is really only for recovery if I don't draw into what I need, and I can play down one of my Solemn Witches and start recovering life points, since they let me recover life points per turn, or per draw. So I can trigger that multiple times per turn if I get like a Pot of Greed, draw into Graceful Charity, draw into Morphing Jar, and then can play Book of Tai to flip Morphing Jar in order to get me to draw again. So you can get a lot of life points that way and burn down your opponent's deck. All the Morphing Jars are insane. Like Morphing Jar 1, if you flip summon it, discard your hand, draw a new one. Or Morphing Jar 2, have monsters on the field, cool. Send them back to the deck, redraw until you can summon as many monsters as you put back into the deck. And then Ancient Jar is just there as the vanilla variant. Cyber Jar is a field wipe, and draw 5 cards and play what you can. Needleworm, just flip and just mill 5 cards. That's a great effect, since in early Yu-Gi-Oh! Not very many cards like being in the graveyard. Got a couple of deck searches in Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest. You can search out for the Morphing Jar or one of your beat sticks. Got Magician of Faith to recover spell cards. Got Mask of Darkness to recover trap cards. Then we have Slate Warrior. It's a pretty great early monster too. It's like 1900 attack isn't even bad, but if you can flip summon it, it gets up to 2400, which is great for no cost. You just have to wait a turn. And if something kills it, it gets a floating effect of weakening it, so it's cool. Goblin attack force just really strong, but it goes into defense. This is part of the burn strategy, where if you offer up monsters, you can deal 1200 damage, and that's not once per turn, so you can just keep summoning monsters, keep sacrificing them, and burn your opponent that way. Jinja to just omni-negate trap cards pretty much, which is pretty cool. It does kind of hurt, though, because I have a lot of trap cards, and I don't want to negate my own trap cards, so you gotta play them strategically. Sinister Serpent just there as a stall card. You can just play him over and over again since he comes back to the hand every turn. I got some strong vanilla monsters, and then Cyberstein. Just ignore summoning requirements to bring out Ultimate Dragon as your ultimate beat stick. And normally you would combo that with a Megamorph to get him up to 9,000 life points, or 9,000 attack points, but never had that combo go off, so just having the raw damage of the base card is good enough. Then we have the Book of Moon and Book of Taiyu, which let you flip your just placed monsters into from face down defense into face up to activate the flip card effect. And then you can put them back down face down to reactivate them again the next turn. Or if you get all combo in one hand, you can just do Morphing Jar 3 times in one turn. Let's go. Mystical Space Typhoon, get rid of a back row. Harpy's Feather Duster, get rid of a back row. Heavy Storm, get rid of all back rows, both of them. Raigeki, get rid of the front row. And we have a mill card. I guess that could technically go up towards the place over here. But I almost have my deck organized. Not that it matters, it's shuffled before you even start. It's just organized for showing you here. Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed for drawing cards. We stand for strengthening your monster, so if you only have like a Morphing Jar, a Needleworm, and a Sandgun on the field, those are not very strong, so you can use United We Stand to buff them quite a bit. Change of Heart goes great in unison with United We Stand to increase your field and increase one monster strength insane. And we have some monster recovery items here. I guess they could go over here to be kind of their own category, like how the Blue Eye strat is. Got some negates here for attacking trap cards and magic cards. And we have our burn cards, Magic Thorn, Ceasefire, Magic Thorn. Discard, they get burn damage. Ceasefire, effect monsters do burn damage. Skull Invitation, discarding does burn damage. Coffin Seller, discarding monsters does burn damage. You can stack all these on top of each other and get like, so if they discarded one card, they end up losing 1,000 life points or more. That's not even using 2 Magic Thorns either. Then Solemn Wishes. If you get all 3 of them, you basically can't die. Then, side deck. Blue Eyes, Cyberstein, Catapult Turtle. A good burn damage, but you need to tribute for it, so it's not really worth it. Minar. If it's discarded from an opponent effect, they get burn damage. Banisher Delight, I wanted to try this, but it would hurt me more than it would hurt my opponent because any cards I go to the graveyard just get banished. Got Metamorphosis and Thousand Eyes, so I can turn one of my Magician of Fates into Thousand Eyes Restrict. Got another Book of Taiyu if I need it. Nightmare Wheel, select monster, it'll do burn damage. Bad Reaction of Samachi. They have life point gain, it'll do life point damage instead. Then we have another negate, Roll to Grease, No You, all the trap cards, and another life point Enchanted Javelin. I don't go to the side deck too often. I am pretty happy with my deck as it is now, but you know, if I want to swap out Ancient Jar for maybe a Blue Eyes or Nightmare Wheel, I can. And the way the dueling is, it's 3 in a row, just like real life, best out of 3. But, you know, if you lose one round, you just lose everything, so that isn't really real life. You can swap these around, and whoever you have in the last position here can be added to your single duel. So if we beat Shimon. Do I have Shimon? Looks like I don't have Shimon. Okay. Let's do an example duel here of how to get a card or a player from triple over to single duel. Just make sure the last one in the line there, and once you beat the round, they will appear in the single duel for you. And alright, because it's an emulator, some weird things do happen. I'm upscaling the graphics, and when you do that, there's some weird like lines around the mouse that just kind of move around. And rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes first. or who chooses who gets to go. It's a bit weird, but it works. I've got a pretty not great hand from the start here, so I guess it doesn't matter because this is a tier 1 duelist here. It's Yugi, but still tier 1. I'm gonna make sure he can't put down a Soldier of Stone and be able to block my 1900 attacks. And I bet that's what he did. Go for the life points. Not that I'll have any worry about life points in a tier 1 duel. I'm sure I could thin out like my triples and have a smaller deck and draw into stuff better. But because I have so many discard things, I like having a bigger card stack so that I can ensure that even if I get the same amount of cards killed from jar effects as the opponent, I'll always have more cards in them, so I can never be the one decked out first. I could have used my other card. Oh well. The monster 3D effects are pretty cool. As long as you upscale it at least 2 times, they look way better than standard. Oh yeah, the best part is that the AIs do cheat. If you place a monster face down, they know its attack value. They don't know if it's defense value, so one dumb thing you can do is place down a Millennium Shield with 0 attack but 3000 defense, and if the opponent has a Millennium Shield, they'll see, oh yeah, 0 attack. And my card has 0 attack. Let's attack into it, and you'll take 3000 damage. Let's go. They've done that before. They also, like, if they can tribute summon, even if the monster that they would tribute is better than the tribute summon in their hands, they will still do it because it's like in their programming to be like, oh, tribute summon. Yes, that's like a priority for them. So you can abuse that by giving them a monster that's powerful. They'll just tribute it. It'll go back to the graveyard and you can have it because you can recover it easier. And Yugi, you get a better deck next time. Just defense moding all the time, and you can't seem to win here. Yeah, I have no idea what his deck is on tier 1. I know in tier anything else is like pretty good. So I'm not sure why he's really bad here. Got a Ewan. Get a little text bit here. So close to winning? Yeah, okay. You believe that. Grandpa, he's got Exodia and he's got Blue Eyes, so he can surprise win against you. I've had that happen before. And you got some funny old man quotes like, that's no way to treat an old man. Or like, you whippersnappers. Alright, that's an interesting set of cards he's placed down. They're probably all going to be trap holes. AIs can negate like card limitations, so like Rare Hunter, for instance, he'll have 2 Graceful Charities and like maybe 3 Pot of Greeds, when normally those are limited to 1, because this game does use like an early tournament rule set where there's the you know, limited, semi-limited, and ban cards, or unlimited cards too. We'll grab an Exodia piece with that. There we go. Alright, I will actually play some cards now. And I do not care which monsters get tossed into the graveyard here. Sinister Serpent will return anyways, so no big deal. I could just see if I could attack into Grandpa with 2,300 points there and just win it in one go. Where's the fun in that? I like to have fun in the duels here. Because I know the AIs are pretty stupid, I will get into a winning position quite easily, but then I'll be like, okay, let's see what you can really do, and give them a chance to recover. Plus it gives the burn deck a bit more of a spot to shine. Get a chance to circle back into the hand. Got a couple Book of Moons, so if I had a Book of Taiyu on me as well, I could combo them up, but I don't, so we'll win through burn. Ah, that's a bit annoying, actually. Yeah, if we got all about Torrential Tribute, I didn't even know we had that in this deck. I don't play against Grandpa often though, so maybe that's my bad. I can save my Gemini Alpha if it attacks into something stupid. But I thought he was going to play Mirror Force or something. Oh, okay, he's just killed himself anyways, because he's gonna discard 2, and the discard burn here will be enough to kill him. So, Grandpa, you tried, but your deck's just not up to snuff here. Rip. Even if you get Exodia, you couldn't win. I think it's time I take off my kitty gloves. I don't think you even duel him again, so. Shimon, that's just basically Trap Hole. Trap Hole and the Jar of Greed. Which is just the worst pot of greed. But I guess you could play more of them in the deck, so maybe it evens out. No, it doesn't, but you know. Don't think I'll even need all the cards in the deck. I don't think he's got very many things able to overpower what I've set down here. I'll save Heavy Storm for if he places down 3 trap holes in a row. Only one trap hole. Okay. I won't need to use it anyways. Jar of Greed. Okay. One thing that is strange is with an emulator, like saw like maybe some lines around the mouth or the text boxes, but there's also the layering that can happen. Like whenever an effect like that pops up on the screen, it can stick, so it looks a bit silly. And that I'll give him a chance to pull something out the hat. Unlikely to happen, though. Since this is a tier 1, we'll do a tier 3 duel next, just to show kind of what the best you can expect in the game is. Ah, that's mean. I don't think this will matter, but I can try to save Slate Warrior here by face downing him, but I don't think that'll matter. No, it doesn't. Okay. Let's just fill the field up at this point, or see what I can draw into, just for fun. By saying hello to Cyberchar. And goodbye. Feather Duster, Swords of Light, Sinister Serpent, Call of the Haunted, Ancient Char. You know what, why not? Yeah, you can see it's not got great cards. Just to make sure I don't kill my beautiful Ancient Jari, I'm gonna place down that. And nothing else I can do there, so we will just wait and see. Bring back my other jar. And this will be a good combo. Take a look at this. Harpy Shadow Duster. Each one of those back rows is going to take away 300 points. So that'll be 1,200 points right there. Then it's just another attack or two and he's dead. And there we go. So now that we've beaten a triple duel with Shimon at the end, he will appear now playable as a single duelist. So we can farm him for cards that we really want in our deck for some reason. And at the end of a duel, we do get a choice of statue. Normally you want Slifer, he seems to get the most amount of cards on him. However, some special cards will be linked to Raw and Obelisk as well. I'm going to go for Slifer just to see what we get. We get Rainbow Flower and Rose of Death. So yep, now let's go back to single duel. And here at the end, got Shimon. Whoever you last defeated will be next to the duel machines. And let's take a look at the new card here. This opponent, life points may be attacked directly, so that's cool. And none of the fusion monsters in the game have effects as far as I know, except for Alligator Sword Dragon, whatever it is, that can attack directly. Everything else is here, like, why would you ever waste 3 cards on this? Because you gotta go through Angel, the Sheep, Polymerization to bring out a 900 attack fusion monster. Like, why would you ever do that? That's just terrible. There's a lot of really terrible, like, early high-level monsters that have, like, super low stats. So it's a bit hilarious. So if we sort by level here, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Black Skull Dragon, Trihorn Dragon at the top. Then as we scroll down here to level 5s, we get some truly stupid looking monsters. Or like their stats are just stupid. Because you'll have things like here with like no attack and defense, but they're still level 5 for some reason. This thing, like, what the heck is even this? There's one that's just terrible. 30,000 your white turtle. 1250 attack, 2100 defense, when Soldier of Stone is 1300 attack and 2000 defense. It just doesn't add up. Queen Bird, 1200 attack. The best one though is Sandstone, 1300 attack, 1600 defense. That is just straight up worse than Soldier of Stone, but it costs a sacrifice to play. Why would you ever? So yeah, you'd never play those, but you would play some of the cards I'm playing, like Blue Eyes maybe. Yeah, that's cool. You hold X, we can choose a different background here using Gate. Interesting card, but you know, we don't get to have too many fusions. And I do just like the base Yami effect, so we'll keep it as is. And for the final duel of the video, let's go to one of the hardest things we can play here. The level 12 Yami Yugi is just brutal. And we have 3 rare hunters, that's fair. Then we go up against the big bads and Yugi one last time. Then the final duel, set of duelists is let down just to 3 duel machines in a row. So, yeah. Let's swap these two. So we save Yami Yugi for last. Kaiba. He's just got a power build deck, so if you can get rid of his high level monsters, he's got nothing. Morphing Jar 2 will start us off nicely. We can get rid of some high-level monsters. And with a attack negate there, you'll have 2 monsters on the field at least. Unless he just has a totally dead hand and summons nothing. There we go. If you ever want an easy duel, just like in any Yu-Gi-Oh game really, just go up against Jory Wheeler. Like 50% of the time you duel him, he has a totally dead hand because he just has tribute summon monsters. And Time Wizard. So he just either kills himself or can't summon anything. Once in a blue moon, he'll use a lot of like power buff cards in order to do his thing. Place that down in case he manages to do something. But I'm fine with leaving Morphing Jar out, because I don't want to throw Magician of Faith back into the deck. Yeah, look at that. It's got a high-level monster already out. And it'll attack right in the Morphing Jar just for the like. Because Morphing Jar gets destroyed, I don't have to draw anything. Got rid of another Judgment, or maybe it was the same Judgment. I don't know how the deck shuffling in the game works, if it's legit. But, oh well. Now I feel fine with putting out one of my monsters to attack and see what they got. I do have a recovery plan if they had a defense card, but I think it's just going to be attack from the Great Beyond. Yep. So yeah, you really got me there. You have 700 points. I just did 1900. That's not worth it. And he has a dead hand. They're probably all blue eyes. If I had a morphing jar, we could see. I'll put down Magician of Faith. Don't think that will matter too much though. I'll just keep attacking with Gemini Elf. Another attack from the Great Beyond. It's a great strategy. You got no monsters, but you got cards that deal damage only after I deal damage to you. So Kaiba, you're washed. Oh, there we go. That's a good card you could play. Now my Magician of Faith will have something to bring back, so that's good. Jinzhou. Here's what I can do here. Go ahead. Bring back Book of Moon. Replace that. I'm not sure what his last face down will be, but we'll just say no you if it's a trap card and use Jinzhou. And Kaiba is washed. How can an amateur like you take me down? Okay, so Marik does run a slightly different deck, so I am going to have Minar in place of Ancient Jar, in case they have a Morphing Jar or a Delinquent Duo. I can have this card be discarded and deal burn damage. They also run a Gravity Sphere deck, so that means my high level monsters can't attack. Thankfully I have more low levels than high levels. And as you can tell, my life points do carry over, so if I gained some, or if I lost some, I would be able to carry it over. This does mean doing the Blue Eyes strat is a bit risky, because you could be like, yeah, I got 6,000 life points, let's use Cyberstein to get Ultimate Dragon out and win in one turn. Oh no, my next duel, I only have 1,000 life points, and they just Ring of Destruction me. No, how could this have happened? You know. Alright, so let's see what his face down card is. Probably Cyberjar. I will just go ahead and flip it myself, because that's a good card to use early on. Pull your hand back up after placing some face downs. Alright, so, did not want to draw into that, because I had to play it. I guess I'll show attack. Show defense for Needleworm. Magic Thorn. And this is the layering problem I was talking about before. It's supposed to be showing me the cards he picks up, but we can't see them. Maybe OBS can, but I can't. There's Gravity Sphere, so now he can't even attack with that Vorse Rider he just played, so that's a bit silly. Kind of want to see what that is, but also not, so I'll just place this down. Place that down. Pot of Greed. And place this down. So I have Magic Thorn, that'll be good to combo with Morphing Jar. I could see what he's got here. It could be another Morphing Jar. But it also could be Morphing Jar number 2, and that would be pretty bad, and it is. Let's go. And it doesn't even let me try to combo one of my other cards, flip up Cyberjar or anything like that, so that's not too great. He gets Morphing Jar again. Morphing Jar just puts monsters into defense, as many as were on the field. If it's not a monster card, it gets thrown away. If it is a monster card but can't be summoned, it gets thrown away as well, but it still counts towards the total. So I had 3, and I discarded Jinjo there. Guess that's the end of my turn there. So I didn't lose Morphing Jar, that just went back into the deck, so that's not too bad. You can get back Jinjo with that, but first I am going to activate his Morphing Jar, because it'll be funny to see his own card work against him. And now that Magic Thorn is on the field, any discard he does will hurt him. Man-Eater Bug's not very helpful for me. Another Morphing Jar. And yep, it's just enough phase to just here on the screen now, blocking the whole field. You'll love to see it. Dark Hole? Dang. So using Call of the Haunted right after a destruction effect is usually pretty good, because it'll summon your monster with no cost, other than just waiting for it. But then, sometimes it'll also just kill Call of the Haunted. Like, it'll just get sent to the graveyard for no reason. I'm not entirely sure why he put down Voice Raider in attack mode, because even with the buff, I think we're just tied. Works for me. Yeah, we're just tied, so I'll do this. And if he can ever play that, that will not be too good for me, because it'll get rid of Jinzo. And that is much appreciative right there. Him activating Needleworm without me needing to do anything. Always good to see. I'm not going to place on Solemn Wishes, because until Jinjo's off the field, it's a dead card and just filling up the space here. Negate Attack and 7 Tools of the Bandit are also doing that, so that's not the greatest in the world. And since I have life points to spare here, I may regret this later with Yugi, but I will just activate Cyberstein. Still have 8,000 life points. Do 2,100 damage there. And now I won't have enough damage to take him out in one turn, so he's going to have a chance to recover here. I'll only have 1,000 points, and if he plays Harpy's Feather Duster, which he probably will, it'll get rid of Jinjo. Yep. Oh, look at that. It did not get rid of Jinzo. Oh, yes, that's the other effect. Or weird bug that can happen with Call of the Hunted. With a destruction effect, or putting a card back into the deck. It'll just stay on the field even if the monster it's targeting is not on the field. And it's supposed to be destroyed. Like it says there are 3 different ways the card's destroyed. It'll be destroyed as well. But it doesn't trigger. So you can... even though I didn't tribute summon Jinzo, I got it out with Call of the Hunted, and Call of the Hunter's now gone. It's still in the field. So it works for me. Get that there. I guess get this on the field for no reason as well. Can't wait to get the last morphing Jory's got. Oh no, okay. I have 1 against Marik. But at what cost? 5,000 life points. Great job. That's really helping you right now. Another Gravity Bind is exactly what you needed. So Marik is gone. Got to use Blue Eyes Ultimate a couple times, so that's cool. Alternate win from deck out or life point burn. Just pure damage. And now up against Yugi. He's absolutely busted on this tier. I have no idea why. He just always gets good starting hands. Always is able to get out his Black Magician of Chaos. And it's pretty insane. And he always buffs it too with both United We Stand and Mage Power. So I've seen it up to 9,700 attack points. Thankfully, I got a couple of different ways to negate that. Not in a great spot here. I don't have any good cards to start out with. I don't want him to just kill off Magician of Faith when I have no spell cards to do, so I'm going to put down Cybersteam. Not going to use its effect, just going to use it for defense. Now if he discards, it'll do life point damage, and if it's a monster, it'll do even more life point damage. He'll probably have a magic jammer, but I hope he doesn't. Even if he does, it'll be a way to take out some life points. It does not seem like that was the case, so that's good. Trap hole. Kind of expected. One weird thing with Trap Hole is I always thought the card art was like an orb and it was casting light on a demon to kill it, but no, I can see nowadays that it's just some demon trapped in a hole. Is this going to be Mirror Force on his own monster? Nope. You need to watch out because that can be Magic Cylinder. And unlike in the anime, it just is activated whenever. It doesn't need to be combined with the Magician card. That's less than ideal. Oh yeah, they also do typically like to do spell card buffs after they attack with their base level monster for some reason. And they also like to sacrifice their base level monster that they just buffed for a different monster, instead of sacrificing and then buffing before they even do anything else. So they're very smart. So we just wasted 4 cards for no reason. Magician of Faith to get back. Maybe Change of Heart. It'll be good. We're thankfully not seeing OP Yugi. with 5,000 life points damage from the last duel that I sacrificed. I could be in a bit of bother, because just one attack barrage is enough to take you down. I don't know what his first face down is. It could just be a... whatever that one magic card is that buffs, but if it's destroyed, it does 500 damage. Black Pendant, I think it is. Could just be that. Just as a bait for me to try to destroy it and take some damage. That's the only spell card the AI seem to place down and leave down. Everything else they either play and then immediately flip back up to use, or just use. Monster Reborn, I'll get back. Here's Summon Skull. Solid 1,500 points of damage there. Or 1,400, whatever, same thing. This is a good, not only good like attack negator because you can face down and attack an attacking monster, but also if there's a monster that's super buffed, you could face down to get rid of the buff cards. Cyberjar? Nope, no Cyberjar. Yugi does have some bits of empty jar in his deck, like Morphing Jar and Cyberjar, but not everything else. Oh, okay, he just has a dead hand. I guess they're all Dark Magician. So, you got one more turn, Yugi. Unless you just decide to discard for no reason. Then you just die, but okay. You had that the whole time? Why did you not do that? I'm gonna say no you to that. And it does seem that once the AI realizes it's actually in trouble, it'll be like, oh, I got good cards, I'm just not using them. I'm gonna use them. So yeah. He had those cards in his hand from the start of the duel, he just never used them because the AI didn't feel the need to. And Swords of Revealing Light, of course, can attack for 3 turns. I can still build my field up, though. It won't matter anyways. And I'll let Summon Skull take you down, your own monster. And with that, that's a powerful triple duel. And without either some comeback cards or some good early game strategies, you can find yourself in a bit of a pickle. Of course, I don't consider my deck complete yet. I'm still looking for some cards. Still looking for Mage Power. Still looking for a way to get all the Gate Guardian pieces. And, you know, you can see how many times you win or lose in the bottom right there. Got 36 total games, I won 32 times. Or 33 times, lost 2 times, and did a draw once. The Rare Hunter one's a bit odd. You can get a draw pretty easily, because if they get Exodia, but they're on 0 life points, it'll count as a draw. So with my burn decks, that's happened quite a few times, where they just go, a tie, huh? But you don't actually win, so, you know. That's it for this video. It's fun to play around with. I may do maybe a small playthrough just to see what I can get. And you can see here we got tons of different save spots. I chose the name Konami because there's some websites that say having your name as this, that, or the other will give you a good starting deck. And Konami was supposed to give you the best one. It did not. I got the Cosmo Queen with nothing else deck. I would much rather have the Zero the Mat deck, because at least you get some good defense monsters in that deck. Anyways, that's it for now. I'll see you all in the past. Goodbye, everybody. Happy New Year.